We are gearing up for the last heat of the day. It's heat 11 of round 1. We're going to see Kolohe and Andino taking on Josh Kerr and Stuart Kennedy. A great heat, very evenly matched. These three competitors. Kolohe's been on a bit of a tear this year, collecting some strong results, but he's never really put it all together here at his home break at Trestles. So he'll be looking to really get a quick start here over Kerr. Stu Kennedy, a semi-finalist in the first event this year, has really failed to find that magic. He'd always struggled with the Australian leg of the tour, but he also collected a quarterfinal at Margaret River, which put him at the top end of the Jeep leaderboard. So for him, it was a beautiful start to the year, but then he fell off the pace through Brazil, Fiji and J-Bay, and has had a bit of a return to form with a quarterfinal placing at the last stop.
Yeah, what is it about the Gold Coast? Because sharing sort of that same trajectory with Stuart Kennedy, he just came out of the gates hot and then got iced out a bit. So there you hear the horn, Ronnie. What's going on?
Well, we're restarting this heat. No waves ridden and no scoring opportunity. It's not like anything passed under our competitors. They just were hanging out there, just hanging for an opportunity. So a fresh clock, 30 minutes once again for these competitors.
To be a dad out here and watch your boys surf, you talk about, you know, feeling that pressure and being so invested.
Here we go, some movement out here. We've been wondering when Stu Kennedy's going to click back into gear, and he has a lot of speed to use on this wave, but just gets that float a little wrong and goes down. I think just we're anticipating good things from Stuart at this venue, just based on the equipment that he chooses to ride.
Yeah, Stuart Kennedy on that sci-fi, and that's the board that got so much attention on the Gold Coast. Daniel Thompson design. It's very fast and drivey, but it does have quite a bit of curve in there, so it really is kind of the best of both worlds, and I feel like that's going to be great for lowers. But that was the first wave of the set, and the first wave of the set is notorious for being bumpy. With this onshore flow, you're going to have a lot of chop and ribs through the face. It definitely got the best of Stewie there.
Well, still some waves rolling our way. They're trying to get in position for this one. Is the competitor in black, Josh Kerr, and he opts to go left. Gets that first turn a little wrong. He doesn't quite like it. So he kicks out 25.5 minutes to go. That third place finish on the Gold Coast. It really was super impressive. And we might get a glimpse of what kind of magic he can produce right here as he takes off on a clean insider. Just behind it, chasing this wave down at the moment, doing quite well to keep some flow up. A little hung up there, but still banging away as this wave starts to fatten out through the inside. Just working. Isn't chasing an excellent score at this point. That's obviously the dream, but this wave's just not going to provide those opportunities for him. He's just chipping away, looking to get some kind of number on the board. And just a throwback to a bit of work on the QS there in less quality waves, still able to generate enough speed to let go of some pretty impressive turns.
Well, I don't mind it. And of course, you know, you can pick it apart because there's crazy quality waves coming in where you can do 3 big monster turns and go ahead and kick out and get a 9. That was a bit more of a grindy affair. But, you know, I think he's picking up on the fact that, hey, this heat is slow. You know, a 6.8 or something like that could make the difference. So sometimes you got to put the boots on and go to work, and that's exactly what he did. Again, the unfortunate thing for Stu, this was the first wave of the set, and it was choppy. So he did well to kind of cut through all that that chop in the face of the wave. So I liked how confident he was with those wraps and those carves. You know, there was a lot of chances for him to kind of bobble and maybe catch an edge, and he didn't. So even though the wave was, you know, pretty average, I think he grinded it out pretty nice.
He must be getting pretty antsy out there at the moment, Ross. He has sat with priority for almost 20 minutes and hasn't had an opportunity to catch a decent wave yet.
It's brutal. So, I mean, we had this conversation about 7 minutes ago, and I was like, look at the clock, Ronnie, there's 18 minutes left. But now look at the clock, there's 11 minutes left. So it's becoming an actuality. There really is going to be some pressure. Now he still has to get 2 waves. And, you know, you split that clock in half, you know, he doesn't have a lot of, he has no room for error. He cannot fall on his next 2 waves.
He could really dominate the later stages of this heat. 5 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Andino, he's got his head down. He's committed to this wave. It's stretching out nicely, but he's got to get going. a little caught behind at the moment, and he's going to pull through the back. So he waited almost 25 minutes for that wave, and he's going to get nothing out of it. That'll be devastating for him, and we'll see if Josh Kerr gets a shot at this medium-sized ride. This wave is looking pretty well paced as he drives up into this first section. Nice drawn-out flow off the top. Hammers it again. Is kicking that tail. And he wanted to put everything into that maneuver. He wanted a bit of a knockout punch on that ride. And he blew it. He fell. 4.5 minutes to go. And that just plays right into Stu Kennedy's favour, the way that exchange played out.
That's just poor heat management right there from Josh. He should have known that there's no scores really going down in his heat. And, you know, he threw the kitchen sink at that turn. I would have loved for him to just stick that rail to the water and commit to solid surfing. You know, a 7 is huge right now. I love the flow. You know, a couple of nice floating maneuvers there, a very crisp snap from Josh. And this is where, you know, again, he was trying to really whip that tail towards the beach to wow the judges, but this is not the time to wow the judges. Right now, you just got to bag a, you know, a quick 6 and a 7, and this heat's over. So, you know, he left that door open for Stewie to jump right back in.
3.5 minutes to go. Andino's still in it. He needs a 6.6. Josh Kerr, he's in second spot. He only needs a 2.77. Have a look at this wave standing up. Easy decision for Stu Kennedy, and a great opportunity to get an excellent score on the board. Drives up into this first section, drifts that tail. Again on the attack as he drifts the fins. This could be the best wave of the heat, and a very strong finish. Great surfing from the Aussie, the 26-year-old, and he made no mistakes on that ride.
I was nervous watching that. So that's what I mean by heat management. I feel like that was a scaled back Stewie. Right there, he knows that this heat is sketchy with scores. No one really has control. So instead of throwing the kitchen sink at the wave and trying to get an 8.5, I think, you know, he really kept his board glued to the water and made sure he finished that wave on his feet running.
It's not like he held back, though. He gave it a couple of good nudges.
Pretty squarely on that one, sliding the tail, but for Stewie, that was reserved. Right there again, a little light on the feet, and then just a solid off the lip to finish it. So definitely like a, what, an 80%er.
Yep. Stu Kennedy's third in order when it comes to priority, so there's not much he can do to stop Josh's progress. As we see here, 15 seconds remaining, and Andino's using his priority. But it's not going to matter. Even if he gets a 10-point ride, he'll still be chasing something to turn the heat. Just slides that tail out on the inside. Not much else doing on this wave. This heat's going to come to a close, and Kolohe is going to finish up in third position. Josh Kerr in second, and Stu Kennedy, he hangs on for what was a pretty exciting finish to the heat.
That was crazy. Just a nerve-wracking heat, and the Kolohe Andino curse continues on his home break. So he'll have to collect himself and rebound in round 2.
Not a monster heat score total, but Stu Kennedy won't mind. He's just happy to jump this second round.